Hello, welcome. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's reading is how are you being perceived? And you could have like a certain group of people in mind, a certain community, could just be in general. You could be asking about a specific person, it's up to you, but I will be speaking generally. And yeah, so we have three groups for you to choose from: group one, two, and three. Please feel free to pause the video if you do need some extra time to choose, but I will see you guys in your readings. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the first group, then this reading, it could be for you. How are you being perceived at the moment? So please only take what resonates, alright? So we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, we have Nine of Wands upright, and the Eight of Pentacles upright. So with both the Nine of Wands here and the Two of Pentacles being in reverse, it feels like you are being seen as overwhelmed, maybe unhappy, maybe having too much on your plate. A lot of people could be feeling bad for you right now, as you may seem burned out to them. They could actually think that there is one person in particular putting a lot of pressure on you, and they feel that there isn't much you can do about that right now, for whatever reason. You are being perceived as maybe being walked over and taken advantage of, and generally stuck in a difficult position. They could perceive you as being walked over by someone in particular, not maybe, the person putting a lot of pressure on you. But it doesn't feel like they perceive you as someone who, gets treated like that generally. But yeah, they do think you're dealing with it in the best way you know how. But they also feel like the people observing you, they could feel that you need to find a better way. You're also being perceived as positive despite circumstances, despite maybe seeming a bit unhappy, but people do recognize that you tend to have a positive disposition regardless of the situation. You might appear disorganized to some, maybe scattered, or not having much structure, support, maybe community. Like they get the impression that you don't really know what to focus on at the moment, and or you're being pulled in many different directions, so you wouldn't be able to truly focus on what you need to or what you want to, because you are being pulled in so many directions. In some way, you're also being perceived as hasty. For some of you, it could be in regard to giving to someone. So certain people could observe that maybe it is a bit impulsive or premature of you to maybe be generous with a certain person or to give something to this particular person. But for some of you, you could also be perceived as maybe having some kind of chaotic energy. But at the moment, it feels like you are being seen as someone who tries too hard to help, especially with people in situations that may not deserve your help. You do appear to be trying to improve your financial situation. You also appear to be avoiding certain responsibilities, but this doesn't really feel like important responsibilities. They could also feel that you're avoiding certain responses, maybe repercussions, maybe conversations. Um, maybe a direct conversation with someone in particular. So you might also seem hesitant and indecisive at the moment. You might come across as unpredictable, not having much control, or just not being in charge of your own situation or a certain area of your life. Like you look like you are in need of a well-deserved break to a lot of people that are observing you right now. You are being seen as resilient though, but this may not be in a good way or a healthy way, as people see you, dealing with a lot of nonsense, maybe a lot of hardships that they feel you shouldn't be dealing with. Like some people are seeing you as needing to have a lot more love for yourself, maybe a lot more respect for yourself, a lot more pride in who you are. People do get the impression that you are protective of yourself though. Your emotions, or generally guarded and maybe defensive. This could be with certain people or within certain environments. Like some people are perceiving you as being unlucky at the moment, but people are recognizing that you are really experienced in some way. It could be in terms of your work, job, a skill, or general life experience. People observe that you seem hesitant to trust, um, but also as someone who is respectful, maybe kind. You are perceived as strategic when you need to be. People recognize your creativity and how hardworking you can be, and you are seen as dedicated and sometimes to a fault. Like sometimes, um, in situations or with people that really don't deserve that dedication. Like a lot of people do get the impression that you need to focus on yourself a lot more, be serious about your growth and what you want and about your future. Um, for some of you, like people do get the impression that you're trying way too hard for someone, or for like something else that's not really for you, or what you actually want. Like people perceive you as valuing tangible achievements. They also feel that you're taking pride in a person, maybe putting someone on a pedestal. For some of you, this could be a family member, like you take pride in this particular family member or close friend. This could be someone older than you. And also, people recognize you as someone who takes their craft seriously as well. Sorry, guys, it's been such a heavy reading so far. Um, but even if this is someone's perception or people's perception, it doesn't make it a fact. But I'm going to move on to the rest of the cards. And we have church, temple, mosque. Recognize your spiritual authority. We also have lottery, bet on yourself. We have unnecessary worries. Release the burden of worries by giving them to God for healing and solutions. We have be gentle with yourself. You've been through a lot and you need time to heal and recover. We have beyond the ego. Surrender to the flow of life. And we also have self-creation. Be the author of your own life. I feel like a lot of these messages are going to be like an echo of some of the messages we've already heard. But we'll see. So with church, temple, mosque, recognize your spiritual authority. It feels like people see you as powerful, they see you as gifted, they see you as talented in some way, like they see you as a powerful person. But at the same time, they also feel that you need to recognize your authority and you need to recognize, how powerful you are, or recognize all the, beautiful qualities that they see in you. For some of you, like, there's people that feel that you need to recognize your independence or kind of utilize that a bit more just for your own good, or what they kind of perceive as, your own good, if that makes sense. Like, people see you as someone who has a lot to offer, but they feel that you should direct that powerful energy that you have towards yourself, So with lottery, beneath it says, bet on yourself. And a lot of people could feel, if this resonates, that there is someone you're putting way too much faith in, and that you need to kind of put that same faith into yourself, and that maybe things will change for you. Or they feel that your fortune and your luck might change. And a lot of these messages are going to be quite similar, but we also have self-creation, which says be the author of your own life. So a lot of people do perceive you as maybe needing to take charge of your life, or needing to kind of direct your life, maybe plan for your own life, and maybe towards your own vision, if that makes sense. And kind of focus on self-creation. Having said that, people also perceive you as needing to take it easy with yourself, be gentle with yourself. That was clarified by the Six of Swords. So some people could perceive you as having some healing that needs to happen, an important transition, important changes that need to happen for you in order to, change your fortune. Some people could feel with the Nine of Pentacles coming out that you need your independence, and that will lead you towards more success or more fulfillment in some way. So with unnecessary worries, some people could be viewing you as maybe worrying about the wrong things right now, at least in their perspective. And with beyond the ego, surrender to the flow of life, people could perceive you as needing to take a path of maybe least resistance right now, especially with that be gentle with yourself, maybe a path that is maybe calmer or easier to follow, especially if it is like leading towards maybe what is healthiest for you. And finally, we have naughty, we have subservient, we have sarcastic, and we have impartial. So people do perceive you as someone who maybe tends to be impartial. They could perceive you as sarcastic at times, maybe your sense of humor For some of you, I don't know if subservient is the right word, but they definitely could perceive you as maybe being taken advantage of by someone in particular, or there's someone that you kind of go out of your way for, and maybe this particular person doesn't necessarily deserve it. Um, but yeah, and there's also people who do perceive you as naughty as well, that you have like a mischievous side to you. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I'm wishing you guys the best, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the second group, then this reading could be for you. How are people perceiving you at the moment? Okay, so to start off with, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. We have King of Pentacles upright and the Death card in reverse. So it feels like people are noticing that you are a lot more open-minded than they thought. Or they're kind of perceiving you as opening up a whole lot more recently. You're being seen as not trying to have as much control over things and letting things go a bit more, or you just seem more easygoing. And this could be like comparing now to, you know, the past, um, or like they assume that you weren't easygoing and they're kind of realizing that they were wrong. So a lot of people are seeing you as someone they want to be more generous with. You are being perceived as good with money, but maybe in a difficult financial position at the moment for some of you. But at the same time, trying to figure it out. Some people are noticing that you may not be emotionally available, and a lot of the people watching you could want to see more emotional availability coming from you or in their relationships with you. Some people are also noticing that you've completely let go of the past. Maybe you have very few attachments from your past, or maybe there's something specific from your past that you've managed to let go of. But there's this, you know, general feeling of you having moved on from the older stages of your life, like you've completely transitioned. A lot of the people from your past actually are also thinking this, like they're perceiving you as having moved on from them and maybe who you are when you were like around them, that you've completely transitioned from, you know, the part of your life that they were a part of to who you are now. And a lot of them could actually be annoyed by this fact. But people are perceiving you as not wanting to be a part of limiting situations. People are also noticing that you are a lot less materialistic than they had originally thought. Some people imagine that you are resisting big changes, perhaps changes that can shake things up for you emotionally, maybe mentally. It doesn't really feel related to physical changes or things that might, you know, change things in your like physical world. But people generally see you as calm and grounded, mysterious, like they don't really know what's going through your mind. You're being perceived as more trustworthy than they had previously thought as well. It feels like a lot of people are actually having second opinions about you, maybe seeing you more clearly. They see you as wanting more freedom and independence. People notice you are a lot more adaptable than they had originally thought as well. Having said that, they do feel like there are certain changes that you just won't make. Like they do feel that there are certain things you are stubborn about. But when it comes to other things, like they do view you as very open and adaptable. For some of you, it may not be that. It could also be that they kind of just view you as someone who's had to be adaptable, maybe in the past, or being adaptable has, maybe gotten you to where you are now. So you're also being seen as mindful of unhealthy attachments and having cut ties with things and people that aren't good for you. But people also view you as someone that is just quite mindful and aware in general, regardless of, you know, of what I was saying before in regards to like unhealthy attachments. But yeah, there is some area of your life where you are being seen as stubborn. Like some people do feel that you are resisting certain changes. Maybe big changes. But you are being seen as striving for success, but as already having made some big achievements for yourself already. Others see you as disciplined, having this strong work ethic when it comes to maybe career, job, work, personal goals. They also notice that you can be structured and methodical, that you do tend to be practical. People often see you as a very good leader, and people do notice you being down to earth, that you seem to be grounded in reality, maybe quite realistic. And people also see you as an amazing provider, that you offer a sense of security for someone or for certain people in your life. But people are perceiving you as struggling at the moment with a transition or just being slow to accept change at times, maybe even blocking new opportunities intentionally. And what these opportunities could be completely different for each of you. For some, it could be related to love, it could be related to work, it could be related to fun, adventure, I don't know. But yeah. So moving on, we have award. We have elevator. God, I cannot speak today. So award, elevator, control issues, self-confidence through God confidence, ending a trauma, dawn of love, and I'll do these ones after. So with award. It says accept your well-earned praise. It feels like a lot of people perceive you as someone that does deserve a lot more praise, recognition than maybe respect as well than you currently get. Because you are generally perceived as someone who does have a lot to offer. And with elevate or rise above, you are perceived as someone who has risen above a lot in their life. It doesn't even have to be difficulties only, it could be a lot of different things. And people also perceive you as someone who doesn't tend to get involved with things that could be quite petty. So they could perceive you as someone that rises above in that way. A lot of people feel that love is around the corner for you as well. For some of you, they may not even feel like you're open to it, but they do feel that there is someone out there for you. So some people could perceive you as needing to believe in yourself a lot more. Some people could perceive you as having control issues, but kind of letting some of those control issues go. So with ending a trauma, I don't know about a trauma or people perceiving you as having experienced a trauma. It doesn't really feel like that, but people do perceive you as someone who's healing in general. That you have a healing energy that you give off, but also something that you're kind of currently in the process of as well. And finally, we have outspoken, we have quiet, we have enigmatic, and we have opportunistic. So some people could perceive you as needing to be a bit more outspoken. This could be in general, or it could just be within certain circumstances. Like people do perceive you as being quite like gentle, maybe quiet. But people also do view you as quite enigmatic, very charming. But they could perceive you as maybe needing to be a bit more opportunistic, maybe even a bit more ruthless in certain ways. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I really do hope it could be helpful. I'm wishing you guys the best, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Please take care. Bye. Hey, how are you? If you've chosen the third group, then this reading could be for you. How are you being perceived at the moment? Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands in reverse, Four of Swords in reverse, and the Five of Pentacles upright. So some of the people that are observing you, it feels like they do perceive you as maybe struggling at the moment, or just struggling to make progress in some area of your life. Could be work related for some of you. It could be something else that you're more aware of. But people see you as highly skilled and talented, but not getting the recognition that you deserve, or the momentum and traction that you deserve. Because of these delays, people are also noticing that you're kind of in, I don't know, if in limbo, maybe on pause, waiting for more favorable circumstances, or just waiting until you have an idea of how to move forward. And they see this as you being extremely self-aware and people tend to see you as having self-awareness in general, to be honest. But you are being perceived as frustrated, maybe with the delays, but also having to maybe shoulder something alone and not having support or community, maybe not being close with your friends at the moment, or having a lack of close friendships and relationships. Despite that, people don't see you as someone that's lonely. They see you as having maybe an is what it is type of mindset. But people do perceive you as very focused, and they see you as someone that does typically plan long term. For some, people also assume that you struggle with communication at times, or miscommunication is like a common issue that kind of comes up with you and maybe some of the people that interact with you. They could think that you're, very misunderstood. There's also people perceiving you as someone that's rarely impulsive. People think that you're burnt out at the moment, that you need to rest, you need to slow down. They believe that you're exhausted from trying to push forward constantly. And they could feel that you don't realize how burnt out that you may be at the moment, or may become in the future. So they are thinking that you are mentally overloaded, could think you seem a bit disconnected at the moment, that you're struggling to find peace, maybe inner peace, maybe peace in your environment, your surroundings, or something that you've been working towards, or in a certain area. But they do see you as strong. And they do feel that you kind of get on with things despite, some challenges. So people could also think that your creativity is being blocked right now. Like they could view you as a creative person, but maybe this is something that you're not really focused on at the moment, or maybe you're just experiencing blocks in this area. And for some of you, people could feel that your creativity is being blocked by a person, or, by circumstances. And some people actually believe that some of the delays you're facing is the universe's way of telling you that you need to rest. They could think you see it, but don't necessarily care from their perspective, at least. Like some people do view you as struggling with anxiety at the moment. People could feel that you're excluding yourself, maybe from teams, group activities, conversations, maybe withdrawing from social interactions. It could be something you're more aware of, but they do see you as excluding yourself. Like they definitely think that whatever burden you're carrying right now is definitely heavy. People could also perceive you as feeling abandoned. And even though they see you as struggling, they don't think you need or want help. Like they do perceive you as quite strong, which is kind of sad in a way. But they are so certain that you will overcome any adversity. But they do see you patiently waiting for things to improve. So moving on, we have fire. Take responsibility for your power. We have airplane. You have multifaceted. Give it to God. Energy of love. You are unique, and I shall do these ones after. So with fire, you are seen as someone that does have a lot of power. And underneath fire, it says take responsibility for your power. And you're also seen as someone that does take responsibility for themselves. And with airplane, you could be someone that you could be seen as someone that wants to travel more, maybe just someone who wants more freedom in general, actually. So with your unique, you could be seen as very different from the people around you or from the people maybe you grew up with, your family, your friends. It could be, communities and groups that you're a part of, your workplace. But you are seen as very different to some of the people around you. You're also seen as cut from a different cloth. Like, you have qualities and characteristics that they don't particularly see in a lot of people, and a lot of these people could admire you for that as well. So with give it to God, they could also perceive you as needing to give some of your problems to God, maybe some of the delays you're facing, but they do perceive you as needing to have faith um, in something higher than yourself a bit more. They could feel like that would be the answer to a lot of your problems, People do perceive you as very multifaceted, very talented, that you have many layers to you. And not only in terms of your skills and talents, but also in terms of maybe like your interests, your character, stuff like that. And also with energy of love, like people do perceive you as someone who does have a lot of love to give. But some people could perceive you as not being in that energy right now of being able to do that, or just circumstances. Actually, they can feel that there are certain people in your life who are able to kind of get your love. But regardless, they do feel like you are someone that has a lot of love to give. So we have smooth, we have inflexible, we have non-competitive, and we have persistent. So it also feels like you're perceived as being quite smooth in some way. And I don't know if this is really like about, like smooth as in charming. I don't really feel like it could be in that way. For some of you, you could be perceived as like having like a smooth voice. Like it could be in, the way you walk or talk, stuff like that. It could be something that you are more aware of as well. But you are just seen as very smooth in some way. So you could also be seen as inflexible at times, maybe a bit stubborn. So with non-competitive, like I am getting two messages, like the opposite. Like for some of you, people perceive you as not very competitive, maybe not liking competition. For others of you, some people could view you as actually very competitive. And people also perceive you as very persistent, like you don't give up easily at all. But that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I see you guys again soon. Please take care of yourselves. Bye.